you're on mute.
You're ready.
Yeah, perfect. So such an amazing day, actually. So thank you so much for staying, until the last presentation. I'm Lucia, and like Steve says, so I'm in the transformational life coach. I'm doing past life regression hypnotherapy. It's my passion. But for the past 1 year, actually, I've been working as a career coach as well. And so I found it absolutely fascinating, the education summit and the education topic. So what I want to talk about today is the adult education, actually, just because what if the education fails you? What if you've been doing something for the past 15 or 20 years, something what you actually didn't enjoy and you really was good at it, but at some point, maybe your mid-30s, your mid-40s, you have decided that this is not something what you want to continue being doing for the rest of your life and you want career change. What if you want to pass this experience, knowledge and some tools to your kids, to your nephews, to your young brothers and sisters? And so what I want to talk about today is I had a training couple of months ago about one very interesting tool to use with some of my participants that I've been working. So I just want to give you a little bit of background. I'm working with people newly graduated, can be 18 years old, 20 years old, newly graduates. As well, I have people on 50 plus as well. So in all range in between. And so what actually I've seen quite often is with the younger generation, I see a confusion of what they want to do with their life, what career they want to pursue, and they have no idea what they like to do at all. And so even if they get all this knowledge from their qualifications, going to university and college, that doesn't mean when they leave the college they know they can make decision what they want to do with the rest of their lives. And it's not a decision, and this is what I'm trying to tell them, it's not a decision that you have to make here and now, because your interests may change with gaining more experience, more life experience, work experience. Those interests may change too. And so what I've seen with the adults, for example, 30, 40, 50 plus, is quite often is the upskilling that they need to do because of the fast pace of technology changes and the fast pace the world is going. And not only this, the fixed mindset which Yusha was talking about, the fixed mindset that they cannot learn new things, or the regret that they've made wrong decisions many years ago and actually they start a career or they pursue a career that they didn't enjoy at all. And so one of the tools I want to talk about is the personality, methodology. So I don't know if anyone can unmute themselves and can just tell me what personality actually means to them. Yes, Steve, please.
So for me, personality is kind of it's a little bit of a predictive measure of how someone's going to show up emotionally, to respond. The personality is the way that I kind of expect them to act, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. So do you think the personality can change? Is there anyone else having any different explanation personality and what they understand from the personality? Mm-hmm.
I think personality is the outward evidence of what you're going to present to the world. So not necessarily, a lot of people just hide behind a lot of things, but the personality that they get to see is what you're presenting.
Yeah, I love this. Thank you, Sharon. Anyone else? Usha? I can see your hand raising. Mm-hmm.
Personality is how you express yourself to the outer world, similar to what Sharon said. How you express yourself or how you behave. How you behave.
Mhm. Mhm. Anyone else want to join and give me their opinion on personality?
Personality is what makes you unique. It's what
Mhm.
makes you you. And yes, the personality can change as you also change through maturity and growth in life. Thank you.
I strongly believe every single one of the answers is correct, because the personality is something what makes you, and it's your unique, something what is unique about you. But at the same time, I appreciate when Usha says this is something what you present to the world, and from the opposite side is Sharon, who which says this is something what someone who you can be, but then you decide to present yourself in a different way. So the personality theory has some criticism around it. So people are, some of the people are just psychologists are saying that the personality can change, and the personality theory says that is unborn and cannot be changed. So some traits of the personality can change as we grow up, but the personality itself cannot be changed. So of course, those are theories. And so this is the, open discussion. So I would love every single, opinion on this. So I'm just going to read it through. Personality is a dynamic and organized set of characteristics possessed by individual that uniquely influences the environment, cognition, emotions, motivations, and so on. And like I said, is unborn and cannot be changed. And then the opposite, people arguing that actually personality can change. I came across, like I said, this training a couple of months ago, and it was about the Americans. Actually, I believe so there was mother and daughter, Isabel Myers and Catherine Briggs, which they've been so inspired with one of the books for such psychological types that decide to do an indicator and an assessment. And so it's very interesting because I've done this assessment myself, and actually I've been doing this assessment on a regular basis with my participants and clients. And so we came up to very interesting conclusions. And so I just want to share a little bit more information about that. Sorry, let me move my. So why is important to know my personality type? And so one of the things I wanted to share with you is the positive attitude and reassurance. So when you know your personality type, first of all, you allow to have more, more self-awareness and more positive attitude towards others and yourself. You're not fixed in your mindset, which I was talking about earlier. It actually allows you to have a different perspective on, how people can be so different and why one is acting a different way in a certain situation. So positive attitude and reassurance in your your qualities and your strengths. You have more confidence in yourself as well. So why I want to talk about personality here is because we all heard, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth a little bit later on, but we all heard people saying, oh, actually maths are not my thing and languages are not my thing and I cannot learn new languages. And so we don't talk about only a fixed mindset. We talked about the confidence to learn new things as well, and having this reassurance, yes, I can do it. But if we go deeper into the personality types, actually, we can see that some things are much easier for us than others. And this is, deeply in our biology. For example, when I explore my personality types, I found out very interesting result, and I'm going to share a little bit later on with you why I did enjoy a certain, profession more than other. And if I knew this many years ago, probably I'll make a different decision approaching, my education and approaching my career path as well. It brings you self-awareness. It's helping us to having better understanding of our strengths, weaknesses, and recognize opportunities. And so I never enjoy the word weaknesses really. And I always said this is opportunity for me, because if you agree every single thing which is not our natural talent, with hard work and dedication, we may be able to learn, on a level that actually satisfy the things we want to do with it. For example, maths, I want to be accountant. And so I know with the right dedication, even if I do not enjoy maths and hard work, I'll be able to become an accountant, which requires flexible mindset as well. Like I said, to know your personality type is going to help you to make decisions for your future education, career planning as well, and to understand your choices better. When I say choices, you lean towards certain things more than you lean to others as well. So personality type, that indicator or assessment that has been created. So it's very interesting because they actually kind of section on the 4 different, different types. And the first one is introverts and extroverts. And so I was very negatively, I was thinking very negative about the introvert thing before, the word and the whole kind of explanation around it. Actually, when I dig deep into this, I found myself, for example, I'm just giving you an example with myself because I've done the test, is I'm having a more of an introvert traits than extrovert. And it's something, for example, the extroverts is how you can be more talkative, and how you manage your energy in a way. When the introvert people are they like to observe, they're more in their head, they like to stay on the side and and just think things through, which is very interesting. And so how you manage your energy. Is there just before I continue, is there anyone done this assessment before, or 16 personality tests before? Yeah, I can see Marcella, Steve, yeah. It's very interesting. I would highly recommend this tool. Amazing. So basically, you know what I'm talking about, which is so good. I won't get into the details too much, but I want more experience from you guys. Like I said, this is one of the tools, one of the many tools we can use to help to give a guidance and navigate our clients, our children, and family members. Sensing or intuition. So that's quite interesting as well. So sensing is more keeping the facts. You're always on the top of the facts and the details of things. And intuition is when you focus more on possibilities, and the door is always open. Thinking or feeling. So that's quite interesting as well. Thinking and feeling is how we actually make decisions. And so judging and perceiving is approach, structure in our life. And so I'm gonna continue, and I just want to ask: is anyone wants to give their personal experience on the assessment? It was quite accurate for you. Like I said, there is always, because this is all those are theories, so they always have people who say, oh, actually that's not 100% me, and I changed for time. So one of the things I found that there was one of the tests actually was including like your animal as well, and it was actually saying a people pleasing. And so this was very interesting because I actually argued with my trainer, with my mentor, and I was saying that's not trait of mine, but I can recognize this trait of mine when I was younger. And so actually from group of, I believe so 40 people, we were more than 30 who've got this trait when they were younger, because actually we wanted to find, in a way, after the long discussion, we find that we wasn't kind of settled in a world. And so we were trying to find our own place, where we, what are our values and boundaries and so on. And so people pleasing can be something what, you can be aware with time, and actually you can change. This is one of the traits that I believe you can change. Is there anyone having any experience accurate this assessment for them, or wasn't accurate? Did it help you in any way?
So I can say I took the test 3 times with some time in between, and the result was always the same. And I think it fits perfectly to who I am. So yeah, and I can identify with it. So I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, can I ask you, did you use actually the description of the, for example, the type you are for anything? Like, for example, did you think of, oh, actually this profession is more for me than other profession?
I mean, I'm an ENFP, right? So the decision was actually not to pursue any career anymore, like profession-wise, so to do my own thing.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Anyone else wants to share any experience?
I think I knocked down a whole lot of what's socially accepted for no good reason, because of some of this, because of who I am in this. Like I love to see how things are going, and I can understand that the easiness of how it is to accept things, but the logic of accepting them does not make so many things that do not seem to be logical, except for getting along and doing the same as other people.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share any experience? So I just want to just give some statistic here. Actually, I'm going to read them because obviously I cannot remember the numbers. So on the back of before we move on to the questions, actually, I just want to give you a little bit of background. So when I've done the test, so actually I was ENFT. So something what really fascinates me was there was some statistic about the different professions and the personality types and percentage of, how many people actually are working those professions and how many kids are dropping from college or schools if they're not pursuing the right career as well. And so I've been retail manager for over 15 years and I've been a retail for 17 years. So it really fascinates me because actually for my type is 0.2% only people who proceed or are good, are the retail managers. So I just want to give a bit of understanding here. It took it took a dedication and hard work to continue doing what I was doing, and I enjoyed it for a certain period of time. And I was really used to do the job that I was doing, and I was good at it. However, somewhere there deep inside me, something was going terribly wrong because actually I had a terrible burnout from work and I wasn't able to do this job anymore. And so it was different things. I didn't enjoy the position. I didn't enjoy the pressure. And then I enjoyed different, things like connecting with people and so on. So for my type 0.2%, actually, I think so I've done amazing for 15 years, but actually explains a lot, why I didn't get to the highs that I wanted at some point, and why I decided to drop this profession. And so from other side, STJ 70%. So the types that are making decisions differently and pursuing the reality differently are much higher chances to work the retail managers. And so career advisors is IFJs, which is introverts and people who have got more feelings and more, a judging type. So the 45%, and ETP is only 5%. Counselors, NF, 76%, and ST only 6%. And so you can see here such a huge difference of people pursuing different careers based on their personality types. And admin or administration assistant, for example, J is 86% and P is only 14%, which, like I said, this doesn't mean this is set in stone and doesn't mean you won't be good at a different type of job. But I just want to see that everyone is very unique, and everyone has certain sets of talents, and strengths that we should all pay attention and embrace. So one of the, like I said, 16 personalities, I just want to ask if you can describe your personality with 1, 3, 5 words. That will be, so just make sure they're very accurate and they're positive. And the first on my screen is Marcela. That's you.
So I consider myself an extrovert, but there is times that I want to go to be the introvert. I would say extremely sensitive, extremely empathetic, and I would say that that's one of the things that I actually really love. It is some people that they feel concerned about feels people energy and be able to feel everything around them, and I just found it's a very fascinating, I would say, psychic ability that we all can develop. Okay? It's one of my favorite ones. That's what I love to work with my clients, because sometimes I can just help them just sensing what's going on, and we just go beyond, whatever they have planned for that session. So yeah. So
probably gonna be N for intuition as a second. Yeah, it will be interesting. Yeah. Steve, you are second on my screen, and then is Sharon.
Yeah, so very similar. So my test type was an INFP, and so it's very strong. Most people think that I'm an extrovert when they meet me because I can talk to anyone. But the key is when you need to recharge. So if I'm recharging, I'll go off on my own. It's hard for me to recharge in a crowd of people, especially when they're drawing energy from you. And so, or that attention, that type of exchange. And just like Marcella, I've recognized that I'm on that scale of being highly sensitive, just meaning that I experience the emotion on a more physical level. And so and part of that is something that I've grown to now notice as a superpower, something that you can actually activate. And I'm on the mission of helping other people where they may have been taken advantage of by other people in the past, but turn that into a superpower where they can actually be themselves, their authentic selves.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Steve. Question came to me, but let me go to Sharon first. Sharon?
Yeah, I think with me, I'm very curious. I'm very social. I love to have somebody come along and discover things with me. I also love the idea that, we have bodies and abilities and sports and just things that test our physical abilities. But then I also realize I care about the people who can't, I have a caring side that feels like somehow to include them to their ability, because they have abilities that to their extent. And I keep on seeing people left out because it's not to your extent. And then the determined, I'm just, if you say can't, I'll say, yeah, you can, I'll show you, so.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sharon. From what you sent me, what you said, hopefully I'm right, but probably you work more with your senses. So in sensing then more than intuition, which is like practical skills a lot and just working with whatever you see, you can feel with your hands, you can hear as well. Usha is camera off. I don't know if Usha wants to go next is on my list, or shall I jump to Gabi? Usha, yeah? Hello?
Yeah, I have my daughter, that's why my video was on. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. You want me to tell my personality, right?
Yeah,
I have not done any personality test, and I'm very
that's
scared.
okay.
Actually, I was typing the chatting, and I'm very scared to do any tests because I think it labels us and limits us.
Mhm,
So if you ask me to describe my personality, it has
mhm.
changed quite a lot in last few years. So I'm like no nonsense, outcome oriented. At times I can say I'm boring, and because I'm always outcome oriented. And yeah, I'm sensitive, and I am quite understanding, is what I feel.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you so much. So this is another opinion, person who doesn't like to do, any assessment or test because they don't like to label themselves. So I value every single opinion. Thank you so much for sharing, Usha. The next person on my screen is Gabi, and then it's Matt. Gabi.
Maybe that is my limiting belief. I can do it. I just my limiting belief. Quite possible. Yeah.
I'm a little bit with Usha, and the reason is it's not a limiting belief, but there was a lot of personality tests around in the 80s and the 90s, and I had some really, really bad experience where my company used it, and it was personality tests where I got assigned a color, and depending on the color, literally you could see who they advanced in management and who's not. So they actually based it not on what on the person. They went by a test, they labeled you straight away. That's why I am actually a little bit like Usha. I don't like those tests because I had some, and that's not a limiting belief. It's just out of very, very bad experiences with the thing. But if you're asking me on the slide you showed, I'm actually an introvert as well, like Stephen, even so I can talk until the cows come home to people. I'm definitely intuitive. I'm a thinker, and I am a perceiver.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you so much, Gabi. Actually, this is very interesting because just before we jump to Matt, is because actually there are so many companies using those personality tests. There is this one and so many others. However, the aim for those tests, it should be understanding the employees more, why someone is talking, for example, behind the table on a meeting more than other, and how can you actually improve those meetings. For example, how can everyone can express their voice. For example, for me as an introvert, I wouldn't say I'm scared or afraid or anything like this to talk on the front of people. However, when it comes to being in a room with extroverts, the energy level is so high when I unintentionally actually can detach from the conversation and from whatever is happening in the room, withdraw my energy and myself and be in my own head, kind of, if that makes sense. Or I can be just for a good couple of hours just observing and listening and actually seeing the bigger picture of everything going on and evaluating the situation than rather expressing my opinion. That makes sense. And so this can be a huge minus, but it should be the aim of those personality tests, so we can understand ourselves better and our colleagues. And so I'm sorry for your experience, Gabi. We don't have much time, but I would love to hear Matt and then is Karen.
Yeah, thank you. So the what you just described is actually me, right? I consider myself as an introverted extrovert. So that means, so in a group of people, so I'm not the first one who starts talking. So I'm first listening. I listen a lot before I start talking. And so people often think, yeah, he's an introvert, but that's not true. I can talk a lot, but I need the same energy and like the trust within the group, so that I can open up and can talk. Apart from that, so I love independence. I love to explore things. I love to discover new things. And people often consider me as superficial because I'm interested in so many different things. I have so many different topics I'm interested in. And there are only some topics where I have really deep knowledge, but a lot of topics where I have like a little bit of knowledge, and I love to connect that. And yeah, networking is another thing I really love to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. Yeah, I completely relate on this. Karen, you're next, and then is Will.
I think that I have a mix of of the introvert, extrovert, and definitely extrovert. But for example, if I talk about, if I'm in an environment when people are talking about something that I don't know, I'm completely an introvert. I don't want to talk because I don't want to talk about something that I don't know. Or when I was younger, if I like a guy, I don't talk with to the guy that I like, but I talk to everyone else. So, and in terms of making a decision, it's like sometimes it's for feeling and sometimes it's thinking. So in that one, I'm like I'm not towards 100%. Sometimes I'm in the middle, and the same with being structured or no. I mean, depending on what I'm doing, I'm very structured, and other are like playing by ear. Oh yeah, let's go there. Oh no, I need to plan these trips, so it's perfect. So like Usha was saying, maybe if we just say, oh, we're extrovert, we're not 100% extrovert, we have a little bit of everything, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Thank you, Karen. So, for example, something you said, you have to have the structure, and actually, I believe so. The last one, perceiving and judging, actually is all about structure, because I am all about structure. And literally, if you don't have a structure, or I know clear deadlines, for example, I can go to panicking. I'm not able to, I'm actually getting irritated to people. For example, if I have someone who is not on time coming to our meeting, because they just don't take things seriously, they're open, some they're more like perceivers. I like planning, and so I have to know every single step. From other thing, when I start with my mentor, I had to do assessment actually on it. Something what I've seen it is that, because I am more on feeling, I'm more on the thinking side, for example, and seeing, and intuition. Something what I'm not really good at could be details, and so I'm not detail orientated. I'm actually quite opposite. I can see the bigger picture, and this could cause a problem at work, because I'm missing a lot of details. And actually I can plan something for a team of 15 people, which I've been really good, as a manager, but not really getting down into the details. So I need someone who balance me, in this thing. So I think so. Will was busy on the phone, and Master Aaron, if he wants to join us and share his experience, or maybe I can see he was active on the chat earlier. If not, I think so the time is up.
Well, thank you for that wonderful discussion, Lucia. It was a wonderful dive into personality types and connecting to that, that inner part of us, kind of making sense of some of the things that make sense to us. So I appreciate you